Excerpts from Chapter 6 of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, narrated by Greducator. "Yes," said our father, when Jem asked if we could go over and sit by Miss Rachel's fish pool with Dill, as this was his last night in Maycomb. "Tell him so long for me, and we'll see him next summer." A gigantic moon was rising behind Miss Maudie's pecan trees. Dill and Jem were simply going to peep in the window with the loose shutter to see if they could get a look at Boo Radley. And if I didn't want to go with them, I could go straight home and keep my fat, flopping mouth shut, that was all. "But why in the Sam Holy Hill did you wait till tonight?" "Because nobody could see them at night. Because Atticus would be so deep in a book he wouldn't hear the kingdom coming. Because if Boo Radley killed them, they'd miss school instead of vacation. And because it was easier to see inside a dark house in the dark than in the daytime, did I understand?" "Don't make a sound," he whispered. "Don't get in a row of collards, whatever you do. They'll wake the dead." With this thought in mind, I made perhaps 1 step per minute. We came to the gate that divided the garden from the backyard. Jem touched it. The gate squeaked. "Spit on it," whispered Dill. "You've got us in a box, Jem," I muttered. "We can't get out of here so easy." "Shh! Spit on it, Scout." We spat ourselves dry, and Jem opened the gate slowly, lifting it aside and resting it on the fence. We were in the backyard. We crept to the side of the house, around to the window with the hanging shutter. We raised Dill, and he caught the windowsill. "What do you see?" "Nothing. Curtains. There's a little teeny light way off somewhere." "Let's get away from here," breathed Jem. "Let's go round and back again." "Shh," he warned me, as I was about to protest. "Let's try the back window." "Dill, no," I said. Dill stopped and let Jem go ahead. When Jem put his foot on the bottom step, the step squeaked. He stood still, then tried his weight by degrees. The step was silent. Jem skipped 2 steps, put his foot on the porch, heaved himself to it, and teetered a long moment. He regained his balance and dropped to his knees. He crawled to the window, raised his head, and looked in. Then I saw the shadow. It was the shadow of a man with a hat on. At first I thought it was a tree, but there was no wind blowing, and tree trunks never walked. The back porch was bathed in moonlight, and the shadow, crisp as toast, moved across the porch toward Jem. Dill saw it next. He put his hands to his face. When it crossed Jem, Jem saw it. He put his arms over his head and went rigid. The shadow stopped about a foot beyond Jem. Its arm came out from its side, dropped, and was still. Then it turned and moved back across Jem, walked along the porch and off the side of the house, returning as it had come. Jem leaped off the porch and galloped toward us. He flung open the gate, danced Dill and me through, and shooed us between 2 rows of swishing collards. Halfway through the collards, I tripped. As I tripped, the roar of a shotgun shattered the neighborhood. Dill and Jem dived beside me. Jem's breath came in sobs. "Fence by the schoolyard! Hurry, Scout!" Jem held the bottom wire. Dill and I rolled through and were halfway to the shelter of the schoolyard's solitary oak when we sensed that Jem was not with us. We ran back and found him struggling in the fence, kicking his pants off to get loose. He ran to the oak tree in his shorts. We ran across the schoolyard, climbed our back fence, and were at the back steps before Jem would let us pause. The three of us strolled as casually as we could to the front yard. Atticus spoke. "Where are your pants, son?" "Pants, sir?" "Pants." I won 'em from him," Dill said vaguely. "Won them? How?" Dill's hand sought the back of his head. He brought it forward and across his forehead. "We were playing strip poker up yonder by the fish pool," he said. Jem and I relaxed. The neighbors seemed satisfied. They all stiffened. But what was strip poker? Had Jem's pants been safely on him, we would not have slept much anyway, after we got back home and went to bed. "I'm going after him," Jem said. I sat upright. "You can't. I won't let you." He was struggling into his shirt. "I've got to. It's like this, Scout," he muttered. "Atticus ain't ever whipped me since I can remember. I want to keep it that way." He went the back way through Deer's pasture, across the schoolyard, and around to the fence. I waited until it was time to worry, and listened for Mr. Radley's shotgun. Then I thought I heard the back fence squeak. It was wishful thinking. There he was, returning to me. He came up the back steps, latched the door behind him, and sat on his cot. Wordlessly, he held up his pants. He lay down, and for a while I heard his cot trembling. Soon he was still. I did not hear him stir again.